The first mistake people make during a collapse happens before they ever leave their home, and most people never realize they are making it. You spent weeks preparing. You bought the backpack. You packed it carefully. Inside were a water filter, emergency food, a flashlight, and a first aid kit. Everything experts said you would need when things went wrong. But when the moment finally arrives, when the power stays off, when the stores close, when the roads become uncertain, and when thousands of other people are making the same decision at the exact same time, that bag on your back may not be what saves you. It may be the thing that slows you down. Because survival is not about carrying the most. It is about knowing what actually matters when everything changes. And most people discover that difference too late. A bug-out bag feels like the ultimate survival solution. One bag containing everything you need to escape danger. Food, water, shelter, tools, security. A complete survival plan packed into one piece of equipment. But hidden inside that idea is a dangerous assumption. The belief that you will always have somewhere to go, that the roads will stay open, that fuel will still be available, that your destination will remain safe, and that you will leave before millions of other people make the same decision. Because the hardest part of a disaster is rarely the moment everything fails. The hardest part comes afterward, when millions of people are trying to solve the same problem at the same time. And that is where many bug-out plans begin to fall apart. For years, survival culture has focused on one question: what should I pack? The perfect knife, the perfect backpack, the perfect collection of tools. And those things do matter, but almost nobody asks the more important question: what if leaving is actually the mistake? Because a backpack does not fail when the zipper breaks. It fails when the plan behind it falls apart. And that is where many bug-out plans begin to unravel. Someone with a $500 backpack and no understanding of their environment may be less prepared than someone with a simple kit and a clear plan. Because disasters do not test your equipment first. They test your decisions, your ability to adapt, your awareness of what is happening around you, and your ability to stay calm while everyone else is reacting emotionally. A bug-out bag is not a survival plan. It is only one part of a much larger system. And understanding that difference could completely change the way you prepare. Imagine this. You wake up expecting a normal morning. The lights are off, but at first it does not seem unusual. Power outages happen. You assume everything will be fixed within a few hours. Then you reach for your phone. And that is when something feels different. The signal is weak. Messages are taking longer to arrive. Social media is filled with confusion. Nobody knows exactly what happened. And that is what makes the situation dangerous. People rarely panic because they understand what is happening. They panic because nobody can explain it. During a crisis, uncertainty spreads faster than facts. The first few hours are not filled with chaos. They are filled with questions. And uncertainty is where human behavior begins to change. People wait. They expect life to return to normal. They keep using electricity like it will come back any moment. They open refrigerators. They charge their devices. They make decisions based on yesterday's reality. But slowly, the signs begin to appear. Gas stations stop working because their pumps need electricity. Stores begin limiting purchases. Traffic becomes unpredictable as signals and communication systems become unreliable. And suddenly, the question changes. It is no longer, when will the power come back? The question becomes, what if it doesn't? That is the moment many people decide to leave. They grab their bags. They load their vehicles. They head towards somewhere they believe is safer. But there is one problem. They are not the only ones leaving. The biggest weakness in many bug-out plans is not the bag. It is the belief that escape will be simple. Most people imagine leaving before things become serious. But real emergencies rarely announce themselves clearly. There is usually a period of confusion, a time when people are waiting for answers, a time when everyone believes someone else is in control. And by the time the situation becomes obvious, the easiest options may already be gone. Roads designed for normal traffic become overwhelmed. Fuel stations become crowded. Supplies disappear faster than expected. And the destination you planned months ago may no longer be realistic. Because a survival location only matters if you can actually reach it. And if hundreds or thousands of other people have the same idea, your safe location could become another crowded place, filled with people who are also unprepared. But traffic is not the biggest reason bug-out plans fail. The biggest reason has not happened yet. Even if you reach your destination, the real challenge is only beginning. Because escaping a disaster and surviving one are two completely different things. The biggest reason bug-out plans fail is not what happens on the road. It is what happens after the road ends. Many people prepare to escape a disaster. Very few prepare to survive one. That is why, after the first day, survival depends less on your equipment and more on your ability to find water, communicate, make smart decisions, and adapt. Because after the first day, survival becomes less about what you brought and more about what you know. A backpack can carry supplies, but it cannot carry experience. It cannot carry local knowledge. It cannot carry relationships. And it cannot carry the ability to make good decisions. Those things often become more valuable as time passes. The first 24 hours of a crisis are about immediate needs: water, communication, safety, basic shelter. But after that, survival changes. The environment becomes the challenge. Finding reliable water, understanding sanitation, managing food, avoiding unnecessary risks, knowing when to move, knowing when to stay. The person who survives longer is not always the person with the most gear. It is often the person who understands their situation the best. One of the most underestimated dangers during a collapse is psychological pressure. At first, people react with urgency. They make decisions quickly. They believe they are solving the problem. But as time passes, uncertainty creates stress. Small problems begin to feel bigger. By the second day, you may find yourself checking a phone you already know is dead, not because it works, but because your brain is searching for reassurance. That is what prolonged uncertainty does to people. A missed meal feels more serious than it normally would. A simple disagreement can suddenly become a conflict. This is why emotional control is a survival skill. Fear pushes people toward bad decisions. Panic causes people to waste resources. Desperation causes people to take unnecessary risks. The person who stays calm can see options that others miss. Because survival is not only about having resources, it is about protecting your ability to think clearly. And that is something no backpack can provide. A better approach is to think beyond the bag. Your first layer of preparedness is knowledge. Know your environment. Know where your nearest water sources are. Know the routes around your area. Understand what happens if transportation stops. Know what resources exist around you. The second layer is capability. If clean water disappeared tomorrow, where would you get it? If grocery stores stayed closed for a week, how would you feed yourself? If someone in your family was injured, could you help them until emergency services arrived? If something important broke, could you repair it? Or would you have no choice but to go without it? The third layer is adaptability. Because every disaster creates different challenges. A flood, a blackout, an economic crisis, a natural disaster. Each one affects people in different ways. The goal is not to prepare for one exact situation. The goal is to become capable enough to handle changing conditions. Your equipment should support your skills. It should never replace them. The reason your bug-out bag might fail you is not because the equipment is useless. A good bag can absolutely save lives. The problem is believing the bag is the solution. It is not. It is a tool. A tool that works best when combined with planning, awareness, experience, and adaptability. Because your biggest survival advantage is not what you carry. It is what you know. A person carrying everything they own can still become lost. But someone who understands their environment can create options almost anywhere. The future is unpredictable. No one knows exactly what crisis will happen. No one knows where it will happen. And no one knows how long it will last. But history shows one thing clearly. People who adapt survive difficult situations better than people who only collect equipment. A backpack can hold supplies, but it cannot hold preparation. It cannot hold judgment. It cannot hold experience. The strongest survival tool you have is the ability to think, adapt, and make good decisions when the world changes around you. Because when everything familiar disappears, the people who survive will not always be the ones carrying the most gear. They will be the ones who know what to do when the plan no longer works. Because a bug-out bag can support your survival, but it can never replace it. If you believe survival is about more than just equipment, subscribe for more videos about preparedness, resilience, and the hidden realities of disasters. And leave a comment below. What is the one survival skill you think matters more than any piece of gear? Because the best preparation starts with understanding what actually keeps people alive.